Welcome everybody. So you're now in the annual general meeting of the British Occupational Hygiene Society. So this will be our first time trialling the meeting as a hybrid. So it means we've got members joining us online currently, as well as people in the room today. So thank you for taking the time to join us. So just a few little bits of housekeeping. So as we are also live online, it is being recorded. So it'll be available for everybody to read it, to watch again at a later date. For members who've joined us online, if we could ask you to keep your microphones off on mute throughout the meeting to avoid any noise disruption, that would be appreciated. Also, if you're having issues with bandwidth online, if you take your video or webcam off, that should help. So we will allow questions throughout the AGM for those joining us online. We will also pop up on the questions on the chat box, which you can open up in the speech bubble at the top of the meeting screen. So Lee is at the back of the room, monitoring the questions that are coming in online, and we'll put forward any questions at the appropriate time in the meeting. If you were previously unable to attend and sent in your proxy vote, but you have been able to join us today, your proxy vote will be revoked and you'll be able to vote in the meeting. So you've got your paddles. So this is what we'll be doing to vote. If you can hold up for a bit of time so we can go around the room and count them, that would be appreciated. So now, without further ado, we shall move on to the election of the chair of this meeting. So Article 8.3 of the bylaws state that the President shall preside as the chair at the general meeting. So nomination or election for the chair only comes into play if the President is not present, and I appear to be present today, and so I shall chair the meeting. Article 7.1 the bylaws requires that the notice of the meeting be with the members 14 days before the date of the meeting. The notice went out on the 2nd of June 2026, which satisfies the terms of the bylaws. So now for apologies. Over to Helen.
So we've got apologies from Mike Slater and Len Morris. Are there any more apologies from the floor? Nope. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Helen. So we can move to agenda item 2, which is the approval of minutes of the previous meeting. The minutes were circulated with a notice of the meeting. Can I take any comments on the accuracy of these minutes? No. If there are no comments on the accuracy, can I have a proposer and a seconder for the adoption of these minutes?
Lynn Morris for proposer and Mike Robertson seconded.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So as far as I can see, there were no matters arising, so we'll now move to the next agenda item. So this is the announcement of results of the appointments for the BOHS Board, FO Committee and FAM Committee. This year we received one nomination for each officer vacancy on the board. A ballot was not required for these posts and therefore the following individuals were unopposed and appointed. So Jason Hodgkiss, President-elect. Helen Pearson, Honorary Secretary. Lindsay Betts, Honorary Treasurer. This year we also received one nomination for the FO Committee member vacancy. Therefore a ballot was not required and the following individual was unopposed and appointed. Amar Zaman, sorry. I even checked beforehand and managed to get it wrong. I do apologise. This year we received several nominations for the ordinary board member, FAM Committee member vacancies. Therefore, a ballot was not required and the following individuals were appointed by election. So Alan Graham, FAM Committee member, Anthony Carter, FAM Committee member, Stephen Clark, ordinary board member. So can we all have a show of hands or boards to ratify these appointments? If you have joined us online, please raise your hands, feature to cast your vote. Please remember that if you are an affiliates member or an international partner, you are not eligible to vote, so please do not raise your hand.
60 people people. We got a 60.
Okay, thank you. So with 60 people, this is a clear motion is carried forward. For our online attendees, please use raise hand feature to put down your hands now. I would also like to take the opportunity to express our thanks to the board and committee members who will be stepping down this year. So they are Pam Gahir, the immediate past president, Mike Robson, ordinary board member, Justina Seabag Montefiore, faux committee member, Darren Evans, FAM committee member, Sam Collins, FAM committee member. So now on to agenda item 4. Presentation of the Trustees' Report and Audited Financial Statements 2025-2026. So I'll now hand over to Jason Hodgkins, our Honorary Treasurer, to present the annual report for the year ended 31st of March 2026 to be received by the AGM.
Thank you, Aidy. We ask members to note the content of the Trustees' annual report and draft accounts. Please note we are awaiting the finalised audited accounts. These delays arise from the change in the financial year and is not an indicator of any issues raised by the auditors. As the auditors' accounts need to be presented at a general meeting, we propose to hold an extraordinary general meeting before January 2027 to seek approval of the audited accounts. Does anybody have any questions they wish to ask about the accounts? No? Thank you very much. I'll hand you back to Adrian.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. So we can move on to agenda item 5, the appointment of auditors. The members are asked to delegate to the Chair the power to appoint an auditor on behalf of the Society for 2026-2027. Can we have a show of hands for the proposal? If you have joined us online, please use the raise hands feature again to cast your votes. So with 65 votes, it is a clear motion and is carried forward. Please use the raise hand feature to put your hand down again. So, agenda item 6 we move on to now, which is the Code of Ethics complaints. So, our Registrar of the Faculty of Occupational Hygiene, Dave Rogers, is here to provide further details on this.
Thank you, Adrian. I can confirm that we received no complaints.
Okay. Thank you, Dave. Jonathan, did we receive any complaints from the Faculty of Asbestos Assessment and Management?
Thanks, Adrian. I can confirm that we did not.
Fairly straightforward. We move on to agenda item 7. Any other ordinary business? As no other relevant items of ordinary business have been brought to the board's attention prior to the meeting, are there any further questions members would like to raise? Okay. So nothing online? Nothing online. Brilliant. So we move on then to agenda item 8, installing new president and closing the meeting. With other business concluded, that closes the formal part of our meeting and just leaves me with the pleasure of installing Sarah Leeson as president for 2026-2027.
Right, thank you, Adi. I now have your past president medal to give to you. I also have the pleasure of giving Palm his past president medal, as for some reason he didn't receive this last year at the awards dinner. So thank you, Adrian. Now that the formalities are over, I'm pleased to kick off our annual review. The last year has been a period which work and health became firmly established as a genuine part of the national policy agenda. Increasingly, there was recognition that protecting workers' health was not only important for individuals and their families, but also for businesses, productivity, and society as a whole. Occupational hygiene was gaining greater visibility, and the contribution of our profession to preventing ill health at work was becoming more widely understood and valued. At the same time, BOHS strengthened its relationships with a range of organisations, working collaboratively to identify emerging occupational hygiene issues and campaign for improvements where they were needed. Alongside this outward-facing work, we remained committed to raise professional standards across the discipline. Key achievements included the launch of the revised guidance for the diploma, helping to ensure practitioners were equipped with the latest knowledge and skills, and the development of new standards for asbestos surveyors. This supports greater consistency, competence, and confidence in this critical area of workplace health and safety. As I now pass back to you, Adrian, he will continue our review of the last 12 years. You'll see on screen, 12 months even. You can do 12 years if you want, yeah. Might do that, AGM, yeah. Our review of the last 12 months. You'll see on screen some of the key numbers that highlight the contribution that BOHS has made towards creating healthier workplaces. So over to you, Adrian.
Thank you, Sarah. We could just let the slides roll through and absorb some of the information on there. I think it details an incredible amount of achievement for the year. So the BOHS President's role puts you in a really privileged position. I've been a volunteer and a board member, and that gives you an idea of what productive and valued organisation BOHS actually is. However, as President, you get to see how amazing our volunteers are, just how much the faculties achieve, and how hard the head office team work. My time as President seems to have passed so quickly, but looking back on it now, it's amazing to see how much has been achieved. My presidential theme on leadership seems to reflected in the role that BOHS and its members play in the UK. For the first time, work and health is on the national agenda. BOHS is right in the thick of those discussions. Whether it be fit note reform, product standards or AI regulation, we have a voice and influence over this agenda. BOHS is beginning to influence my own industry sector. In the nuclear sector, our close links with Hinkley Point, forged by members like Dave Rogers, Calvin Williams, and built on by Lindsay Betts and the head office team, have continued to keep health prevention in the limelight. We are able to deliver the largest construction health survey in the UK at this site. We are now opening up opportunities for development of occupational hygiene within Sizewell C, with Jason Hoskins in the key position. BOHS has been involved in training and influences approaches at our regulator, the Office for Nuclear Regulation, and responded to its consultation at the end of the year. BOHS will be giving evidence at the Parliamentary Committee reviewing nuclear regulation this year as well. The Society is not exactly a household name, but our work this year will impact homeowners. In 2021, BOHS started campaigning for better guidance and protection for workers in the engineer stone industry before any cases were reported. We have worked tirelessly with health professionals, HSE and industry to act immediately and effectively to reduce risk for vulnerable workers, including those employed by outfits which have no interest in obeying the law. We developed our first training app aimed at this workforce, which has been used thousands of times and anecdotally has prompted workers to change employers or change jobs. Our members have been at the forefront of research and advice to move the industry on. We have supported and informed the press campaign to shine a light on the risks to workers, and that in turn has maintained the pressure and visibility of the issue. Ultimately, it's not just engineering stone that gives rise to risk. Silicosis, HAVs, hearing loss and MSDs in the worktop industry occurs amongst traditional stonemasons and those working with other materials. It is for this reason that the new quality mark BOHS has developed to ensure occupational hygiene supervision of manufacture across all products, offering a genuine way in which the supply chain and consumers can choose to have products which have not been produced at the cost of someone's health. Of course, this builds on the work that volunteers like Mike Slater, Chris Keane, Tina Conroy and myself developed or promoted through the Breathe Freely campaign. It's now a movement with global reach, operating in most of the English-speaking world and with progress in South America. Breathe Freely gave back to us in the form of early guidance to the engineering stone industry, which had been developed in Australia. It's also fertile ground for other forming a core of materials for the Health of Construction Leadership Group's new Silica Hub. This international link has been of real importance to BOHS in keeping us connected with developments and have been privileged to travel to represent BOHS at several events across the world, building those relationships. I was delighted to sign a memorandum of understanding with New Zealand and to experience the impressive AIOH conference. Poor occupational hygiene is a global problem, but the scientific community is also one that can be linked and think globally and act locally. BOHS is doing more to connect with other organisations and global priorities. Like engineering stone, old problems raise their heads in new ways. For this reason, I was delighted that we made the decision to run the Legionella Conference again. This is a risk which is likely to be increased with global warming, and there is still so much to learn about the subject, as the conference highlighted. Our 2025 and 2026 conference also highlighted the potential for new technological solutions, with our Dragon's Den event highlighting that innovation can help us and discussions around AI focusing our minds on possibilities. Occupational hygienists live with one foot in the future. We are looking forward to latent risks and anticipating it. For this reason, it was a real privilege to lead the board in the development of our new 2026 to 2030 strategy. While there is a clear route in consolidation, which we need for sustainability, it is very much future focused. We look to the potential and the potential downsides of technology and the challenges and opportunities for our occupational hygiene workforce. I think it sets the direction for the future of a very active, ambitious and relevant society. I hope that members of the society will read this strategy document and be inspired to contribute to our future development by sharing ideas, insights and volunteering. Being president of BOHS is the pinnacle of my volunteering career with BOHS, and it has been a real privilege to see just what a great organisation we are part of. So I'll now hand over to Dave Rogers for the faculty annual update.
Thank you, Adi. Sarah Leeson was always going to be a tough act to follow as registrar. It's a role that has grown and developed over the years as we have become a regulated profession, with statutory registration and a regulatory role in the recognition of overseas qualifications. Beyond that, the faculty's ambitions for the profession and workplace health continue to grow. The new faculty strategy outlines a vision for a modern and relevant profession and charts our course to help support it. So this year, a highlight has clearly been the job of reviewing the existing strategy and working with the faculty committee and head office to give a clear sense of direction for our members. However, it has been important to ensure that we build our profession on solid foundations. Our thoroughgoing review of Diploma in Occupational Hygiene was completed and approved by faculty, and the new guidance and support was rolled out. A roadshow of diploma days, which we will continue to run to support candidates, started. I have very much enjoyed my involvement with sessions expertly led by David O'Malley, Gordon Smith and Sarah Leeson. It has been great to see new chartered members coming through and some of the barriers to success being overcome by really worthwhile candidates. The faculty is a standards body for all the profession, and the year saw the completion of the review of the M-Series qualifications and work on revision of the manuals that we issue to help support learners and training providers. I was pleased to be able to focus on the M200. Subsequently, the board approved the development of that material into an online self-study program known as Basic Principles of Worker Health Protection. While nothing is a substitute for in-person learning, having a tool which we can use to educate others in the basics of occupational hygiene can be part of the toolkit we need to grow awareness in sister professions, encourage more people into the profession, and enable access to occupational hygiene education overseas. For my sins, I've taken on working with Ros Phillips and the development team on this project with the intention of unveiling the finished product this summer. Beyond training, much of what we learn as professionals comes from day-to-day learning. BOHS has reviewed how it looks at CPD across all the professionals it supports, with a view to moving away from a tick box exercise, but in full awareness of the diversity of our membership and the demands on time. The BOHS CPD framework aims to put individual professionals in charge of their own CPD planning and to set appropriate milestones for maintaining current practice, broadening knowledge, or progressing further, depending on what is most appropriate for their stage of career and time of life. I look forward to working with our newly appointed Deputy Register, Chris Keane, and the Strategy Working Group to develop a supportive and proportionate system for occupational hygienists to build our profession. Beyond the occupational hygiene profession, the faculty is responsible for the support of learning in a range of related fields. This year, there has been considerable work to develop a better understanding of the occupational hygiene dimensions of LEV. Not being an engineering body, BOHS is not an appropriate professional home for the LEV profession. However, the faculty continues to have oversight and responsibility for the qualifications that industry uses to address its standards when considering the health protection aspects of LEV. Our examiners have been working hard to bring our P6 series up to date and to address shortcomings in the industry. Aligned with this, head office have worked hard to build consensus across the LEV industry about the need for consistent and independent assessed occupational hygiene standards. We are pleased that BOHS is able to work constructively with IMADA, SIPSI, SAFID, LEVA and our regulator, as well as other industry bodies with a common understanding and purpose. In 2026, we anticipate that, with their support, we will be launching a searchable tool which will enable the verification of BOHS LEV qualifications to help duty holders, employers and regulators identify whether an LEV provider has the minimum appropriate training needed to do the job. In an era of qualifications fraud and without a formal requirement for occupational hygiene training within the industry, the faculty hopes this will make a positive impact on the market and encourage the use of LEV professionals with some trained competence in looking at the health effects of poor control. The faculty continues to be concerned to ensure that we support our own members to act professionally. While we have limited formal complaints, we do receive feedback from members on what they observe among our other professionals in terms of areas for improvement. There is an inherent set of challenges with one professional drawing attention to their perception of the work of others. However, we do not want to be a profession which quietly acknowledges that things could be better, yet does nothing about it. To this end, the faculty approved a membership feedback process which will allow an informal process subject to independent professional review to feedback to members when professional practice matters have been brought to its attention. This will be a voluntary, confidential process aiming at supporting members to improve practice. Another way in which the faculty has been supporting professional practice has been through the tireless work of the Technical Guidance Strategic Working Group. The group continues to run expert and tightly governed development of guidance for members, which is also freely available to anyone. Most recently, the diesel engine exhaust emission guidance was issued with much national interest inside and outside of the profession. Our COSH guidance for the use of RPE in healthcare was also referenced in WHO proceedings, illustrating how POHS's contribution to technical understanding has significant reach. Occupational hygiene is still not an everyday term. However, recent press coverage of cases of accelerated silicosis amongst engineered stoneworkers has highlighted that concerns can be of national significance. BOHS's Quality Marks scheme, which focuses on applying controls to the fabrication of all stone and stone-like worktop processes, has the potential to link supply chain and consumer choice to the health protection that workers benefit from. The scheme addresses not just the commitment of participating firms to address respirable crystalline silica exposure, but also to control noise, HAVs and ergonomic risks, while progressively removing high silica products as safer substitutes become available. It's a bold departure and may raise our eyebrows, but may reflect the sort of role the faculty needs to play in policy tech context, which is focused on growth and cutting red tape. 2025 saw the faculty's membership growing as well as the influence on the profession. This does not happen without hard work, much of it delivered by volunteers from across consulting, industry and HSE. It is a privilege to work with all of them and makes every day a school day for me. Now I'd like, sorry. Can I do it? Yeah, now I'd like to hand over to Jonathan.
Thanks so much there. I shouldn't be surprised that every year there's another story about asbestos threatening the health of a new part of UK life. Through 2025 and 26, one of the headline stories has been that of play sand. Now, FAM broke the news that it was available on the market in November 2025, but by early 2026, we had the Office for Product Safety and Standards contacting us, asking us to explain how there could possibly be up to 5% asbestos in play products. It turns out that products from China are considered to be asbestos-free if there's less than 5% there. And I think this is a really big issue in the UK that we might not have yet got to grips with, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this in the media during this year. Australia highlighted that problem a lot earlier on, actually, and there's been an awful lot of media coverage from it from the Southern Hemisphere. Travelling to Australia for the FAMONS conference, I really am very, very impressed with what goes on in Australia. It's been amazing to travel there and see what they are doing. Particularly the Asbestos Silica Safety and Eradication Agency is their body which has a clear goal, clear guidance and a clear mission, and the mission is to eliminate the risk from asbestos. Bringing us back to the UK, the FAM conference this year had a different feel to it. There was a lot more collaboration. I think it was definitely our best conference yet. That's because Alex presented at it as well. I think that made a big difference. I can see him nodding his head there. Oh, right, okay. Next year is going to be our 10th one, so we want to go even bigger on that one as well. I'm pleased that despite differences in missions and purpose, we're beginning to see greater cooperation across the asbestos sector. The pending launch of the Register of Qualified Asbestos Surveyors may be the first time that we've launched a truly cross-industry standards initiative. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it's going to go really well. FAM continues to work to support jobs not beyond the occupational context, and we've been very successful in supporting the work of journalists like Steve Bogan, who's keeping the issue in the public eye. You may have seen his articles in the national newspapers and hopefully our contributions to that as well. In the background, we've been working with trading standards as we want to eradicate the bad actors that unfortunately still exist in the sector. The FAM committee is hard-working and ambitious. We have a slew of research and innovations that are in progress. We are working on validation of a new Walton Beckett graticule for asbestos fibre counting, and progress has also been made in relation to AI fibre counting. We were really pleased to contribute to the prioritisation of research into asbestos with the HSE, and we enjoy working with them. This includes looking towards the future in terms of the use of electron microscopy. And FAM continues to try to provide independent, science-led evidence. To link science and practice, we need to continue to support our membership to develop professionally. The conference and webinars are a means to do this, and our revision of the approach of the CPD in line with the new BOHS CPD framework should drive this further. However, we do see the route to specialist charter membership for FAM members as a real driver for this. Going beyond the launch of the FAM Fellowship, this would provide professional practice recognition to hopefully motivate and inspire people to lead at the cutting edge of the sector in terms of science, practice and standards. FO and FAM have started laying the groundwork for this, and I really hope this comes to fruition before I pass the baton on as registrar next year, finally kicking me out. Got one year left. FAM is working hard to engage and communicate with its members. We've got into a positive rhythm with the FAM newsletter, which has some really fascinating and useful content. The committee has been working on a strategic, ambitious, but achievable set of goals to strive for over the next 5 years. And the incorporation of asbestos into BOHS's overall strategy shows the commitment and ambition of not just the committee, and reflects the national priority that we need to put on addressing the legacy of asbestos in the UK. Thank you. Is it you next? I'd like to pass it over to Helen. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. So I like to think of BOHS as a society rather than just a membership body. Volunteers lead and do much of the work, supporting each other and often giving more than they receive. And as we've heard from Sarah, it's a great way to become a fellow. I'm delighted to see the membership of the society increase, and as older members retire, it's great to see the new ones joining. Sarah Leeson's presidential theme, which seeks to keep our retired fellows engaged, adds something more to that picture of an organisation that celebrates all forms of engagement, whether it's professional or built from personal passion. Our head office team, Claire and Val, continue to provide a wonderful personal touch, and whether it's chasing for forgotten membership fees or sorting out an IT issue, they do so in a personable and friendly way. And I think that's really important in the age of chatbots and typifies the values of the society. It's also a real pleasure to see the regional meetings that are really coming to life again after the pandemic. With the faculties taking the lead on webinars, we're still able to engage nationally and be accessible. But I cannot help feeling that the networks built up through regional meetings are really important to build the sense of the society. And I'm obviously really proud that the Scotland mini-conference has continued to be a success. And I will just put a plug in here, for the 26th of November, we're doing it again. So we're going to try and get as good as the FAM committee. So these meetings also facilitate grassroots relationships with other organisations like IOSH, which really helps professionals working together in practice. At a UK level, the Society continues to deepen these relationships across the health and safety sector through the Partnership on Health and Safety in Scotland, the Occupational Health and Safety Alliance, and the Council for Work and Health, as well as bilaterally. BOHS has been invited to speak at a range of partner events, ranging from the Institute of Occupational Health Conference, the IOSH Parliamentary Event on Work and Health, the Chartered Institute of Economics and Human Factors, NEBOSH's online conference, to name but a few. As well as getting the visibility for the society and the profession, it reflects a deeper sense of cooperation in practice. Our head office communications team, Rita, Lee and Joe, continue to make the society and its achievement visible, as well as amplifying our core messages. Across webinars, videos and social media posts, they design and implement a range of media assets which maintain our presence in the digital world. This is crucial to giving BOHS a broader voice. Together with our links with the press, we've also been able to see BOHS present in more of the national press than ever before. a significant achievement for a very small organisation at a time of considerable turmoil in the world. We're lucky to have them, and few will know the amount of additional voluntary work they do for other smaller organisations to support them in their comms and marketing. We continue to try and keep links with universities and with research, with advisory roles on several national funded projects in the work and health area and active engagement with HSE research teams, and work being undertaken in universities. 2025 was a year where engineered stone came to the fore, and BHS members were at the forefront of getting a better understanding of these risks and supporting partners to secure funding in the field. The Society's journal, The Annals of Workplace Exposures and Health, continued to be a key international vehicle for the dissemination of the science of this issue, and so many others. The Annals, a jewel in the crown of BHS, typifying our desire to bring science and practice together and to share learning to further our mission as a charity. We're sad that Professor Rachel Jones will be standing down as Chief Editor in 2026 after an amazing period of success in all the metrics that matter for an academic publication. We have a highly experienced editorial board supported by Ros Phillips, and I'm so confident that the transition will go smoothly. BHS achieves a lot and at a pace for a very small organisation. To do so effectively and with propriety requires a fair degree of governance oversight. Board members and those in the faculty committee will not be surprised to see hundreds of pages of reports over a year, documenting the decisions and activities of the Society. The oversight provided by board and the faculty both assure risk but also adds value to decision-making processes, while keeping activities in line with the strategic objectives of the Society, its mission and its operating principles. It's good to see that the Professional Standards Authority for Health and Social Care see us as a well-governed body and to be ahead of the curve in some areas when it comes to governance. This is achieved through the professional support of the governance team, with Amy, Callie, Ros and Claire providing support to it all. And underpinning this, our resources finance team, Liz, Kim and Saab, ensure that we manage our resources prudently and effectively. BHS does more and more, so its governance and risk management develops accordingly. In 2025, we constituted a new research governance committee to oversee and enhance the work we are now doing to create knowledge. This is illustrative of how we have matured as a science-led society. Our annual conference continues to be a focal point of the Society activity, delivered alongside a range of other not-for-profit scientific conferences, supported by Marie and the communications team. In 2025, BHS delivered a wonderful annual conference, but also the LEV conference, the FAM conference, and the Legionella conference. And in addition, Marie provided the logistical support for the UKHCA conference as well. From the amazing awards dinner, which celebrates our achievements, to the informal entertainment, BHS events provide the opportunity for us to come together as a society and share all good things. The review this year shows that we continue to have much to be proud of together, as well as the means to make a real difference to workplace health. And I'm now going to hand over to Jason for his Treasurer's report.
Thank you, Helen. Okay, over the 73 years, BOHS has developed into quite an undertaking. As well as being a membership body, it's the home for 2 professional standards bodies. It's the academic and technical publisher. It produces conferences and delivers regional events, webinars, and last but not least, supports the same amount of learners from the UK and across the globe as a medium-sized university. As Treasurer, I get to see the volume of work that's reflected in the management accounts. I also get to see the impact that global and national pressures have, which affect all organisations. This reporting period has seen impact from the wars in Europe and now in the Middle East. This has a direct impact on our cash investments, which are ethically invested, but are affected by uncertain financial markets. We also have in the UK economic policy impacting staff costs, including the national living wage and national insurance increases. Inflation challenges the budget every year. Some of these risks are addressed by head office locking in costs in advance, and we avoid outsourcing services wherever we can. Our income streams are equally affected by such pressures, impacting on conference attendance and course bookings, but we are fortunate to have committed loyal membership, exhibitors and associates. We're also fortunate to have committed, loyal and highly expert-based staff based in the head office. BOHS continues to retain its staff, reflecting on the ethos of trying to be a good employer and ensuring that work conditions are in line with our values. We were able to offer a 3% increase in wages or match the living wage this year. We are constantly evolving. Through the reporting period, the Quals team have fundamentally changed the way in which we manage learner registration processing. Moving forward, self-registration is going to be largely implemented, led by the quality team, Heather and Matt, working closely with the operations manager, Kelly, and the Quals team, Chantel, Gemma, Karen, Julie and Faisal. At times, the project was described as like laying new rails in front of a moving train. The Quals team are working to ambitious targets, have onboarded more training providers and approved more courses than any other year in our history, largely thanks to the hard work of Rose and our qualifications commercial manager. Finishing the reporting period, slightly over £5,000 down before our investment losses, highlighted the team's dedication to deliver high quality services. We had hoped for a nominal surplus of £500. Part of the shortfall is due to the conferences which now require full payment in advance, which means the costs are incurred in the reporting period and aren't matched income released in a following period. Our loss in investments at the end of the accounting period were mostly recovered by April as the financial markets fluctuated. Our reserves are mainly held in the BOHS head office building, which is less affected by global market changes. Besides being a head office and governance meeting, it also generates a modest revenue thanks to the support of BOHS operations manager Shasta. In attentive approach ensures a smooth operation of all aspects of the physical office. As BOHS becomes busier, the volume of transactions and activities become greater. In 2025, the board were pleased to agree the change in the reporting year from the calendar year to the financial year, making financial management easier and more efficient. This meant for the 2025-2026 period, it's been a 15-month period instead of a 12-month. The board reviewed the financial position as of December 2025 to ensure governance and scrutiny over the financial management. As Treasurer, I'm satisfied that we have been able to oversee the extended accounting period to assure all good governance and financial controls. More importantly, the charity continues to be in good financial and operational health, and with the resources to continue to deliver across the range of operations and other ambitious strategy. With that, I hand over to the role of Honorary Treasurer into the capable hands of Lindsay Betts, and I'll hand you back to Sarah to formally close the AGM.
Thank you, Jason, and everyone for the detailed roundups for what's been in our annual report. The annual report is available online, and I would encourage everyone just to take the time to read that report, and if you haven't already done so, the new BOHS strategy. These documents set out not only what we have achieved, but where we are heading as a society. But we can't do that. It's not just the board and the committees doing this. We need your ideas, suggestions and feedback, and these are always welcomed. They also play an important role in helping to guide and shape our future direction. So if you do have any comments or ideas, please reach out, contact one of us or head office. The presidential theme I've spoken about today reflects something I feel strongly about. Every member has a contribution to make to the ongoing challenge of improving occupational hygiene. Whether you are at the beginning of your career, in the middle of it, or enjoying or planning a well-earned retirement, your experience, knowledge and enthusiasm remain valuable to our profession and to BOHS. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to all the outgoing board and faculty members for their dedication, hard work and commitment. Whilst your terms may have come to an end, I hope this isn't goodbye. Your continued involvement and support will always be welcomed. Finally, my thanks go to the board, the faculty committee, the FAM committee, our many volunteers and the team at head office. The Society's achievements are only possible because of the time, expertise and effort that so many people generously give. The Society is a volunteer-led society, and we couldn't do all of this without everyone. Thank you for all your support, your commitment, and for everything you do on behalf of our profession. So this now closes out the meeting, and I think everyone now has time to go and get spruced up for those of you who are coming to the awards dinner later. So thank you very much, everyone.